the last one decade, we have seen the laser industry in India is growing multifold. Every year we see a lot of players who are coming and setting up their business, and also this laser cutting, laser welding, and engraving, and all those capabilities what Indian manufacturing is able to put them in their shop floor is giving them a lot of flexibility in manufacturing. But then last week we had a very unexpected move by government of India, where they have came out with an anti-dumping duty of 28% to 147%.
Yeah.
So still I am not clear the technicality of that, how this anti-dumping duty is going to impact the industry, the growing Indian manufacturing, or is it really going to help make in India? So to discuss about this, we are having with us Rakesh Agarwal, who is the General Secretary of Laser Industries Association of India, as well as if you see from the user industry, he is also the treasurer of BIA, Bombay Industries Association. Welcome to Machine Maker.
Thank you, Hari.
You being part of the Laser Industries Association of India, but also one of the managing director of one of the leading laser companies in India, Laser Technologies. What is it, this Anti-Dumping Act all about?
Yes, to protect domestic industry has appealed to Government of India that they are suffering losses. It was headed by SLTL Ahmedabad, and it was supported by Electronics, Protect Machinery, Messrs, and some other players like SIL and Mehta, who are prominent in this particular market. They have requested government that they are suffering losses because China is dumping machines in India. And especially if you see the products like PUC, product under consideration were under Customs Tariff Act 1975, laser marking, laser cutting and laser welding. So all these products were included, and based on that government made an inquiry and they made an analysis, and on 27th of September 2023, DGTR came out with some final findings. They gave the fair chance to fight against it, that if the exporters from China or the importers from India, if they have some concern over this, so they can fight, they can put their views on this. And I think around 15 to 18 people, they have fought against it. They gave their data to the government, and based on that, government made some final findings. And there is an Anti-Dumping Act under Section 9A of Customs Tariff Act 1995. Based on that, the DGTR made a final finding, and they requested Finance Ministry to take a call on this within 90 days. So that's under Section 18, they have to made a declaration by within 90 days. So that was there, and DGTR, based on certain parameters, they have implemented duty on some makers. It's nil also, and on some like 22.5%, 30%, 40%, 90%, and even 147%. So now if you import any product under HSN 8456, 8515 or 9013, which falls under laser machine, you have to pay extra duty, which is ADD, as per the customs tariff, what DGTR has declared. And on 22nd of December, Finance Ministry also declared, they said, yes, we are going to implement from today itself.
So it is already in act?
Yeah, it's already in act. Earlier, like there was a confusion that when will it be applied or what is the process. So there was a lot of confusion. So some people were saying that the bill of lading should be the criteria. If any machine which is already shipped from China should be without the ADD. But as per Customs Act, it will be applied from the bill of entry date. So whenever you are filing a bill of entry, even if the machine arrived maybe in September and it was in custom bonded warehouse, now if you are paying custom duty for that, you have to pay ADD.
That means if anyone have parked their machines, is going to get also burnt. Now again, you told that it is from 22 to 0.5, and there are some machines you told it is nil. So what is this rationality of putting these duties? How, if you can just explain a bit.
The government has taken, the average of export prices from China. So say there are people exporting to India, and then the same company they are exporting to Europe or Australia or USA. So they have taken all the export prices in consideration. Plus they have taken the domestic prices. They have spoken to domestic industry, and they have taken their cost of manufacturing, plus particular margins as per GAPP. So based on that, they have made a calculation that suppose I'm just giving a hypothetical example that a 2 kilowatt machine in 2021 was costing 2 crore rupees or say 1 crore rupees, whatever fair value they have decided. Now they have seen that a company Trump, they are exporting from China at a value of 1.75 crore, and 1 crore is the average price which customs found out that this is the reasonable price, or we can say the net price should be 1 crore for this 2 kilowatt machine. So Trump is already selling at higher cost, so there is no point of putting any duty on that. So they were excluded, so the duty is nil on that. Now they came to say HSG. They say okay, they are exporting at a price of 80 lakhs, but the general average price is 1 crore. So now let's put 25% duty on that, so that they are also on the level of 1 CR. And suppose somebody exported at 50 lakhs only. So DGTR said, okay, we'll apply 100% duty on that. So it will be again 1 crore. And then there were many suppliers who did not fight, or who did not, respond to DGTR. So what DGTR said that you are not interested to fight. So either you are wrong or you are accepting this. If you are not interested in this matter, then there is 147%. So I think there are only 6 to 8 suppliers, they have less than 100%, and rest all have more than like 147% of the ADD.
Before going to one question, I would like to ask you this. Now we have 5 to 6 Indian manufacturers, but majority of the players are basically importing from China. China being one of the major manufacturer of these laser machines. But we also need, like your experience also, if you will take that, looking at your book, because you also had one mission to give economical range of laser machines. You also worked with an European company earlier. You found out that Indian manufacturers were not able to afford. Everyone was not able to afford. That have been changed by these Chinese machines.
True.
The majority is selling the Chinese products. What is the impact this anti-dumping duty is going to make on Indian manufacturers?
You can say there are post 2010 era one, then from 2010 to 2020, and now the current era. So before 2010 it was like a luxury. So nobody was able to afford the laser machine, and there was huge demand, but people were not able to use it. And laser was very much limited, like only 50 numbers a year that time. And that time I had this dream that I should make particular machine affordable to everyone, and it will help Indian manufacturing. And that's where we can see from 50 to 2000 within 10 years the numbers increased, and the Indian manufacturer, especially MSME sector, they enjoyed this because the average value was around 1 CR only that time to this period. And post 2020 again there was a huge demand because it is giving much more flexibility. My target or my vision was that by 2025 we will have about 5,000 machines every year coming to India, and by 2030 it should be 10,000. And still I must say that we will be way behind than China, even if we are using all these machines, because if you see the total 100 laser machines are being sold all over the globe. Out of that, 36 machines are being sold in China, and in India it's only 3. So it's a huge gap of 10 to 12 times, and we also have that kind of growth potential that we can grow 10 to 12 times. And MSME started using this, and they grew so well. Last years, I have seen many people who were very small making, say, some furniture or elevator parts, and they are doing wonderful job. The real make in India, I must say, they are doing that because of all these machines. But somewhat, some people, or I say when it became a commodity kind of thing, there were people who just dumped the machines in India rather than being technical about these things. And that's what caused a little bit worry into Indian manufacturers as well, the laser manufacturers. And but yeah, they are right at their place, because that's causing a damage to laser manufacturer. But at the end, it will impact the MSME sector who are users, because if machine price will increase, their capex will increase, and at the end that will be loaded on the end product. So if you are buying an elevator, or if you are buying a grill, for your house, safety grill, or if you are buying a utensil or a kitchen furniture, it will be expensive.
So one thing is that you cannot have a cheaper laser machine now. So rather than going out for cheaper machines, you go for a reliable. But somewhere I believe that also help the industry to consolidate, right?
Yes, that's true. So now what happened? As we say in stock market also, there is always a correction. So it cannot fall every time, and it cannot go up every time. So we can say this is a kind of correction which will hamper many of us for short term. For sure it will hamper, because the duty has been tremendous on this. Indian MSME will also get affected, but for a longer run I think it will take some time to recover, but it will be beneficial.
We had our earlier talks when it comes laser manufacturing and India, make in India.
Yeah.
It's a fact that the major critical components in a laser machine is now it should come from Europe or it should come from China. So I think many of the Indian manufacturers is also sourcing their laser head or laser swords from China.
Yeah.
Or some maybe from the Europe, because again European that products are very high compared to that. So even when we are talking about this, is something very ironical about I feel is your end of the day the critical component is from China. So how this, I'm not able to balance this. If you can just put some light on it.
You are right, because see, all the major players, I must say, in India, like they buy the laser source, the laser head, the controller, motors and drives, even the software also from China only, and some may buy from Japan or Europe depending, but that's the very less quantity. So, and then they make in India machine bed or the fabrication parts, they do it in India, they integrate it in India. So it's kind of assembly we say, but in India that is also treated as manufacturing. Right now what will happen in India, I think there are about 60 manufacturers, small and big, for laser machines. And the big manufacturer, what they are doing everything in-house. Bed, fabrication, integration, everything they are doing in-house. They are buying components, certain components from China or from other countries. So now they will be forced to make in India, even the laser source, the cutting head, controller. I will not be surprised if maybe in next 1 year or 2 years we see any Indian manufacturer making laser source in India. Because see, earlier it was not a compulsion. It was very much easy to buy laser source or cutting head or controller or anything from China. But now it will be a little bit troublesome, and I think anybody having a good vision, early startup kind of thing, they will be beneficial if they make in India. And this will, I think, push somehow to make in India all these components also. Though we have to look at the pricing, because what happens in Indian customer mind, the prices of China is still stuck somewhere. So to compete that, we have to see how all these Indian players play their game. And I believe Chinese are also smarter, and they will also find a way to export in India. So it will be an interesting game in coming years. Yeah.
I have seen one LinkedIn post recently where one person was posting that the kind of infrastructure China is having on laser technology. They are having a museum. They are having a proper gate lines. But in India, we do not have any kind of research, or on a commercial level at least. There are a lot of research happening in the government and other level. But when it comes to commercial, as a person who is working there, do we have anything like that in India?
No, as of now. In industry, like people are putting very less efforts for R&D, because it's very long process, number one. Number two, it costs a lot of money, because the setup costs a lot of money. So we see a lot of manufacturers in USA or Europe or China for laser sources especially. And earlier it was very, very critical, and it was like a black box for many of us. But now the technology has opened up. So maybe, as I said, people will not by choice, but people will be pushed to make in India, maybe in the laser source. It's not so easy, because there are so many factors. You need a lot of investment, you need a lot of R&D for that. There are some government institutes like BRC or CAT or ARCI, in fact, they did at initial years some trials, but due to volume, we were not able to catch up. The advantage with China is quantity. So they are making thousands and lakhs of pieces every year. Their own consumption is such a high that you cannot compete them. So one thing was the scalability, which China got the advantage. In India, that the scalability, the infrastructure, or the willingness to invest in R&D is not that high. That's why we are still behind in all this.
Now, when we are talking about the components, for even that will impact the people who are manufacturing these machines here, make in India. The laser source, the head, laser head, the controllers, the software which is coming from China right now, will that also will be anti-dumping duty will be applied on?
On components, the DGTR says there is no duty on components. But laser source, ironically, the HSN code of laser source 9013 is there in the Finance Ministry notification. So it's a bit confusion. Even customs, they are also not clear that which thing will fall in anti-dumping and which is excluded. So the declaration says that anything in form of CKD or SKD, and they are talking about laser machine in the description. So the HSN code and the description both should match. Then ADD should be applied. But you cannot say, because custom people will work as per the documents. They will not go into technicality. So it will be a big chaos at this point of time. And maybe we have to go every time with the particular DGTR final finding and the custom notification that see these things are not included for the ADD. These things are excluded. So we have to make a lot of that kind of notification or the justification.
So I have two questions.
Yeah.
One, like any brand, HSG is a China brand, but it comes with certain quality. And LTPL, with your network, you have established HSG as one of the trusted brand in India.
Yeah.
But it is a Chinese product.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
you told that there is some kind of duty is going to be applied on that product also. But there is a great possibility with the kind of infrastructure you have built here in India, it will not be a rocket science for HSG to come and manufacture in India.
Yeah.
Are you thinking on that line?
Yeah, why not? I think by in October or November you will get the news.
That's something very promising. I believe this move by the government is also helping to create more employment. I really appreciate it. Now, again, I told we are all frugal mindset. We have our jugaad way of coming out with a way. What about a large chunk of people who never thought this will happen? They never gone to DGTR when they were invited to this. What is the way out for those people? The people who are selling this laser machine for 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs.
One thing is that you re-export to the original supplier. Okay, you surrender that. I cannot clear it because the duty is so high, and that's real. I got almost 50 calls that day, 23rd of December, when ADD was applied. People were seeking help and clarification. So I told them that the one thing is that better you re-export it to the original supplier. Number two, you redirect it to any other third country where the supplier has agents, or you have got friends, say in Dubai or Singapore. So there are two ways out to avoid this. Many people were also thinking that we can pass on this to our customers who has got EPCG license, and in EPCG you need not to pay the duty. But I'm making clear there that don't do this, because under EPCG also ADD will be applied. So there is a component cess which is 10% of basic duty, that is also applied. ADD will also be applied, be it 22% or 147%. You will only enjoy the basic duty exemption, EPCG license. And don't play around, because see, there is a short-term loss, I must say. But you should not play with anything else. With the, there are so many ways people were talking about. So my recommendation is that choose either of the way, but do it in legal way.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for your insights. I think, yeah, for people, this can be a short-term impact in the market, but definitely we need machines which are affordable for the MSMEs. The only way is, and we think that government, academy, everyone should come together.
Yes,
support Indian manufacturing by doing research and build everything in India. Then only this anti-dumping duty will help. Otherwise, it will fail if we are not able to develop the local.
This morning only 4 or 5 people approached me from the same industry, and we have made a group. They say that we want to make laser source in India. Are you interested? I said, why not? Let's do something. So either by force or compulsion or by choice, we have to go this way. So we have to not only make in India, but create in India. That's my message.
There's something new we have got. I believe our Prime Minister Modi hear it from you. Create in India. We have make in India. We have assemble in India. Now something new what I heard today is create in India. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that every viewer got some insights about anti-dumping duty which is now applied on the laser products. I believe if you have any more questions, I will request you to please write back to us, to Machine Maker or to Mr. Rakesh Agarwal of LTPL, or he represents Laser Industries Association as well as Bombay Industries Association. Thank you very much for viewing. We will get back to you with all your queries. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.